Their names are Daphne and Skippy. They come from the big city, if we dare call Mount Pilot that. And Thelma Lou? Well, she sarcastically refers to the pair as the Fun Girls. And you know what? All sarcasm aside, the 3 episodes that these crazy ladies were featured in are incredibly fun. In an earlier version of this video, Stephen Adams, a longtime channel subscriber, pointed out that the characters were way ahead of their time, and that a Fun Girls sitcom today would be a huge hit. And you know what? I don't disagree. I can see it right now, coming this fall to NBC. Of course, it would only make sense that every now and again, they'd have a special guest star swing by. Anyway, getting back to the Andy Griffith Show, whenever Daphne and Skippy hit Mayberry, I think it's fair to say that those girls were on the prowl. Oh my gosh, were they flirty. And it really did seem like they might have a thing for Andy and Barney. And guaranteed their appearance in town always meant trouble. Trouble with a capital T. Their first appearance was in an episode during Season 3 titled Barney Mends a Broken Heart. And as you can see, it maybe should have been more aptly titled Nurse Peggy Tends to a Blackened Eye. You'd think the boys would learn their lesson, but no. Because before you could say hello, doll, the Fun Girls were back to have another go with Andy, and okay, I'm gonna say it, Barney. This time they interrupt work that the fellers are doing at the courthouse, and when Thelma, Lou, and Helen discover that their boyfriends have visitors, those visitors, in a huff they cancel their dates, and will Andy and Barney make the decision to take the Fun Girls out instead. Wise move? Doubtful, but wildly entertaining for viewers of the show for sure. Abso-freaking-lutely. Thelma, Lou, and Helen. Sure, they were the ones for Andy and Barney. The folks writing the scripts made sure of that. Still, I am grateful that for just 3 measly episodes, Andy and Barney, well, they were allowed to let loose and get a little crazy courtesy of the Fun Girls. Daphne and Skippy's final appearance was in Season 5, in an episode titled The Arrest of the Fun Girls. Again, things are complicated by their arrival because Andy and Barney have plans with Helen and Thelma Lou. Sound familiar? An elaborate scheme is set into place, and of course, because this is a situation comedy, things go crazily, wildly wrong, and because the Fun Girls are involved, well, they go even more awry. And you know what? That's the way it should be when these girls roll into town. The truth about why the 3 episodes with Daphne and Skippy are so much fun and so darn memorable is that it really did all come down to the 2 wonderful ladies who were cast as the Fun Girls. And although both of them had fairly robust careers in the entertainment industry, they will be forever remembered for their appearances on the Andy Griffith Show. And I've got to say, that's not a bad thing. So for just a moment, let's talk a little bit more about these great actresses. So if I had to pick, my favorite of the 2 would be Joyce Jameson. I loved her portrayal of Skippy. Despite the broad comedic strokes of the character, her performance was so nuanced that it left you wondering what Skippy was really like when she wasn't hitting the town hard looking for a good time. Something tells me that there was another side to Skippy, and Daphne for that matter, that the actresses could only hint at. Joyce had a full career in both television and movies, and she was in one of my all-time favorite movies, the 1960 Academy Award winner for Best Picture, The Apartment. Folks, maybe someday I'll do a retro review on this flick, but if you haven't seen this movie, which starred Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine, well, you need to do yourself a favor and catch it. It's a comedy that's full of heart, and the performances in this film, including Joyce's small role, are top-notch. Sadly, I do have to report that Joyce suffered from really nasty bouts of depression and took her own life at the relatively young age of 54. Truly heartbreaking. Unlike Joyce, Jean Carson, the actress who played Daphne, didn't have any one motion picture role that I can point to that really stands out. Still, she found frequent television work during most of the 50s and 60s, including another appearance on the Andy Griffith Show as one of the escaped prisoners in that classic episode, Convicts at Large, from the 3rd season of the show. She was also in a very memorable episode of The Twilight Zone titled A Most Unusual Camera, where a couple of thieves discover a camera that takes pictures of what is going to happen just a few minutes into the future. Jean struggled with alcoholism in the early 70s, but she was able to rebound and became a frequent participant at Andy Griffith fan events. Fans loved the fact that Jean truly loved being fondly remembered as one of the fun girls. She was known to personally respond to fan letters and would always have a minute or two to talk with anyone who wanted to express their appreciation for her work on the show. So all this talk about the Fun Girls has reminded me of another classic television comedy, The Simpsons. Yep, I know they are very different shows. One is relatively innocent and, dare I say it, naive, and the other, well, it's kind of the opposite of that. Nevertheless, there is a parallel. Yep, Homer and Ned have their own Daphne and Skippy, two fun girls named Amber and Ginger. And just like the Fun Girls, they return from time to Springfield to heckle these animated fellers. Coincidence? I think not. I'd like to think of it more as a tribute to the Andy Griffith Show, and even more specifically to the wonderful comedic duo of Joyce Jameson and Gene Carson. Here's a little bit of trivia for you. The third and final appearance of the Fun Girls also marked the last time that Barney and Thelma would be seen on the TV series together as a couple. After season 5, Don Knotts left the show, and when he returned, well, Thelma Lou had moved on. Yep, hard to believe, but Thelma Lou did finally give up on Barney. Well, at least until the TV movie Return to Mayberry. Okay, enough yapping. Please share your memories in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you clicked on the thumbs up icon and maybe even considered subscribing to the channel. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.